24-hour scary story. Don't walk alone in Halloween night. Halloween night had fallen upon the town of Blackwood, casting long shadows and eerie moonlight upon the quiet streets. Sarah, a young woman with an adventurous spirit and a love for all things spooky, decided to embrace the thrill of the night. Donning her witch costume, she set out on a solitary walk through the heart of Blackwood. The town's decorations had transformed the quaint streets into a hauntingly beautiful spectacle. Jack-o'-lanterns flickered with eerie light, and cobwebs adorned the porches, giving an air of otherworldly enchantment. The gentle rustling of leaves in the crisp autumn breeze provided an eerie soundtrack to the evening. As Sarah strolled through the town, she couldn't help but admire the creativity of her neighbors' decorations. She paused in front of the Thompson residence, where Mr. Thompson had set up a mini cemetery in his front yard. Tombstones of all shapes and sizes surrounded a central monument, a grim reminder of the afterlife. As she continued her walk, Sarah spotted a peculiar figure in the distance. A scarecrow, illuminated by the faint glow of a nearby streetlight, stood motionless in a field at the edge of town. It seemed out of place, given the absence of any crops or gardens nearby. Its tattered clothing and hollow gaze sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. Despite her unease, Sarah's curiosity got the best of her. She approached the scarecrow, her footsteps echoing eerily in the night. Its button eyes seemed to follow her every move, and the straw hair danced in the wind. Sarah couldn't help but notice something odd. A faint trail of candy wrappers leading from the scarecrow into the dark woods beyond. The temptation of sweets won over her unease, and she followed the candy trail into the woods, her heart pounding with both excitement and fear. The trees loomed like silent sentinels, their branches clawing at the night sky. As Sarah ventured deeper into the woods, the candy wrappers became more frequent, guiding her like a breadcrumb trail. She couldn't help but wonder who had left them there and for what purpose. Her path led to a small clearing illuminated by an eerie, ethereal light. In the center of the clearing, a twisted, gnarled tree loomed, its branches adorned with candy. But Sarah's delight quickly turned to dread as she realized the horrifying truth. Each piece of candy was attached to a string, and dangling from them were severed hands and feet, like grotesque fruit ripe for the picking. A gut-wrenching scream escaped her lips as she stumbled back in horror. That's when she heard the sinister laughter echoing through the woods. Emerging from the shadows, a figure clad in tattered, blood-stained rags and a mask that resembled the scarecrow's face approached her. "You followed the candy, my dear," the figure said in a raspy, taunting voice. "A Halloween treat for me to enjoy." Terrified, Sarah turned and sprinted back through the woods, her heart pounding and her breath ragged. She couldn't shake the feeling of being pursued. The dark forest seemed to close in around her, its secrets clawing at her as she fought to escape. Finally, Sarah burst out of the woods, gasping for breath, and found herself back on the familiar streets of Blackwood. The sinister figure was nowhere to be seen. The town had returned to its peaceful Halloween night, but Sarah knew that she had narrowly escaped a nightmarish fate. As she hurried back to her home, she couldn't help but wonder if the scarecrow had been more than just a decoration, and if the candy trail had been a sinister lure to a terrifying encounter with a malevolent spirit. In the years that followed, Sarah never ventured out alone on Halloween night, haunted by the memory of that chilling walk through the dark woods of Blackwood and the sinister figure that had almost claimed her.